Welcome to Hari's Hobbies, the channel where we discuss the latest tech news and delve into newest tech product. So, as you guys already know, the i7 8700K is really great, but the 9700K or the 8800K is going to be absolutely spectacular. But should you wait for it? But before we delve into that, make sure to hit that subscribe button if you guys would like to stay updated with the latest tech news related to gaming and PCs. So, just as some context, AMD has been forcing Intel to bring out more cores and better value ever since the release of Ryzen. This definitely worked and forced Intel to add 2 cores to their Coffee Lake CPU and rush its release as well. However, even despite that, Ryzen is still by far the value king, and Intel is yet to introduce octa-core to the mainstream platform, while AMD has had 2 generations now with octa-core on its mainstream platform. As a result, an octa-core mainstream processor from Intel should not be far from release, and if we look at Intel's roadmap for this year, they have something called Z390, which is coming out in the second half of 2018, and that may be what this is all about. This new platform definitely does not seem to be icelake or cannonlake, because Intel would have simply named that Z470 instead of Z390. So this new platform definitely seems to be an upgraded version of Coffee Lake with more cores. And the new chipset was probably created to be able to fulfill the increased power supply needs that an octa-core processor would need compared to the other Coffee Lake CPUs. So pretty much all this context coincides and suggests that the Z390 platform that is coming out later this year will probably support the 9700K or the 8800K, which will be an octa-core Coffee Lake processor. So how exactly will it perform and what will its specs be? Well, let's get the obvious out of the way first. It's obviously going to have 8 cores and 16 threads, but unfortunately it's still going to stay on the 14nm process and not move on to 10nm process. I don't think we'll see a 10nm process until cannonlake or icelake or whatever comes out next for the Z400 series. As for clock speed, I think we can safely assume that the 8800K or whatever the CPU will be called will beat the 7820X, because if you look at the 8700K, which is pretty much identical to the 7800X, the 8700K was rushed, but Intel was still able to beat the 7800X's base clock by 0.2 GHz. So for this CPU, Intel has had a lot of time to work on it and perfect it, so I definitely think that they will be able to beat the base clock speed of the octa-core 7820X. Also, when the 8700K came out, Intel had to be really cautious not to cannibalize their own series. But at this point, they already know that the Enthusiast line isn't doing too well, and they already discontinued Kaby Lake X, and lower level Skylake X processors aren't doing too much better either. Also, it has been more time since those chips came out, so it would be more acceptable for Intel to beat them in performance. So, I think that the most probable base clock speed for this new octa-core processor will be 3.7 or 3.8 GHz, and the boost clock speed will be anywhere from 4.2 to 4.5 GHz. And for all you extreme overclockers out there, I definitely think that this should be able to reach 5 GHz, but if anything it'll at least reach 4.8 GHz, just like all of Intel's other high-end CPUs. So that's pretty much all we have for performance of this chip. This chip should also have better power consumption than the 7820X, which needed 140 watts. So pretty much, this new chip will be a rebranded and upgraded version of the 7820X. Okay, but second half of 2018 is quite a big time frame. So when exactly will it come out during that period? Well, last year, the 8700K was released in October, and I believe that that is the most probable month that this new CPU will come out as well, if it doesn't come out any earlier than that. I highly doubt that Intel will come out with this new chip in November or December, because that's holiday season of this year, and that will drive many sales for Intel, so I really doubt that Intel will want to miss out on their opportunity. So most likely, I think we can expect to see this chip in August to October of this year. That way, by the time that holiday season and Black Friday rolls around, there will be a lot of established reviews and benchmarks online which will persuade more people to buy their chips. So I think that's the most probable release time frame for this new chip. So, what about price? This is definitely the most important factor when determining if you are going to wait or not. So how does the price look for this chip? Well, the 7820X came out for an MSRP of $599. But when that came out, Ryzen still wasn't that established, and Intel was still dominating the market so they could get away with such outrageous prices. But now, times are different. Just a couple weeks ago, AMD released the 2700X, which is an octa-core processor with a really good CPU cooler for just $329. So, as a result, there's no way that Intel is going to be able to get away with such ridiculous pricing. I think the absolute maximum reasonable price that Intel can charge is $500. I really doubt that they will break that limit because that just won't drive sales. If Intel really wanted to be competitive, I bet that they could offer this chip for just $380, and that would be great. But unfortunately, Intel still has that monopoly, and they do offer better clock speed than Ryzen, so I think that the most probable range for this chip will be $400 to $500. As for Z390 motherboards, most motherboards will cost from $180 to $220, and there may be some budget-oriented ones for about $150, but I think that's the lowest it'll go. So, if you want this chip, then be prepared to spend $600 to $700 on the chip and motherboard. So, finally, should you wait? Well, first of all, you obviously have to be able to afford it. But what I think is more important than the price itself is if the product is worth that price. This CPU is gonna be great and all, but at the same time, I don't think that it's offering great value. It's just a premium product for a premium price. For all you guys looking to buy Ryzen, I definitely think that you guys should just go ahead and buy that, because this new CPU is not gonna even come close to the value that that offers, and that this new CPU is simply not worth the extra money that it is asking. Really, the only people who should wait for this chip are people who are considering to buy the 8700K right now, but are also willing to spend a bit more money. If you're in that category, then you guys should definitely wait for this new chip, because it's only be like $100 more, but it'll provide you with much more spectacular performance, and obviously you guys are into that when you're spending $380 on 8700K right now. This may also be a great option for small scale business owners who use their computers to make money. This will offer really great performance without costing too much money. So overall, this new CPU is gonna be insane and really offer great performance, but at the same time, it really is a premium product, and unless you want to spend premium prices, there's no reason to wait for it. So, what do you guys think? Are you guys excited that Intel is bringing octa-core to the mainstream platform and that AMD is putting so much pressure on Intel? Or could you care less because you're just gonna go buy AMD anyways? Make sure to post down in the comments below what you guys think, because I do read all my comments and I'm curious as to what you guys think, so make sure to post your thoughts. Also, if you guys like this video, then make sure to hit that like button and consider subscribing if you guys would like to see more videos just like this every single day. But until next time, bye.